dictionary. Alphabet books, coloring books, easy lesson series, flashcards, teachers' guides, audio tapes, videotapes, and CDs. CD-ROM distributed through the ancient Egyptian order, Post Office Box 5597, Athens, Georgia 30604-5579. Next, we follow up with the scroll entitled Nuwaupic. The ancient Egyptian mystery language simplified. This introduction continues. Rahubat, greetings. Let me, the supreme grand hierophant of the ancient Egyptian order, Amun-Nubi Ru Akhbata, also called Aferti Atumre, take you a step higher and introduce you to a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon, the rebirth of our very own language, which is the ancient Tamarei-Ayat Egyptian mystery language called Nuwaupic. There were many dialects in ancient Egypt and various scripts. But you are about to learn the mystery language of ancient Egypt. When you hear two people speaking Polish, you think Polacks. When you hear two people speaking Japanese, you think Japanese. When you hear two people speaking Arabic, you think Arabs. And when you hear people speaking English, you are trained to think Englishmen. When in fact all the Americans who are speaking are not speaking English, but speak a very bad dialect of broken English. They are in fact speaking an unintelligent slang that makes it hard for them to learn another tongue, and this was the plan to keep you from learning your own ancient language. But that day has ended with the rebirth of Nuwaupic, and most languages come with a culture. The language Aramaic, Syriac, ancient Babylon, Ugarit, Chaldean, Akkadian, all use the Cuneiform script. Thus are thought to be the language Cuneiform, which is one of the scripts used in ancient Egypt and is in fact the language of the Nitirat, deities, and their descendants on earth, the Negroids. Archaeologists now admit in the book entitled British Museum Dictionary of Ancient Egypt by Ian Shaw and Paul Nicholson on page 156 and 157 that the Egyptian language forms one of the 5 branches of a family of languages chosen in North Africa and the ancient Near East, known as Afro-Asiatic, Hamito-Semitic. Note, Hamito simply means Hamite, and Semitic means Shemite, biblical terms of tribes which were both Negroid in origin. Because of various common elements of vocabulary and grammar, these 5 linguistic branches are thought to derive from an early proto-language. Ancient Egyptian therefore includes certain words that are identical to those in such languages as Hebrew, Berber, Tuareg, a form of Arabic. The Berbers are primarily Muslim people living in settled or nomadic tribes from Morocco to Egypt. These Berbers originally came from Turkey up in Europe. Thus they are Caucasoid in origin, who mixed in with the original Negroids to become the inhabitants of the northern region of what's called Africa today, from Ethiopia to Liberia, and which includes all the above countries. The Berbers were not original inhabitants of this peninsula. The name Berber or Barba or barbarian comes from the Ashuric Syriac Arabic word Barbara, meaning to be hairy or to have a beard. The Tuareg are a form of Berber tribe inhabiting the western and central Sahara and western Sahel of northwest Africa. This is why you would find Ashuric, Arabic, and Hebrew in our ancient Egyptian mystery language, the language of Bani Dirak. The two languages, Ashuric and Aramaic, are the sources from which all other dialects of their scriptures came from. They pretend there was no one else on this planet before the Bible times. The Tanakh Torah of the Jews, the Synoptic Gospel, and the Apocrypha of the Christians, and the Quran and the Hadith of the Muslims all contain foreign words grafted into them from different languages that all have their root in Egypt. It appears that the monotheistic religion can't survive without incorporating Egypt in their doctrine. The most important patriarchs of their religion all, according to them, had ties in Egypt. Abraham married an Egyptian and even visited Egypt, Genesis 12:10. Moses was born in Egypt, Exodus 2:9 and 10. Jesus spent his youth in Egypt, Matthew 2:13, and Muhammad's last wife and child was Mary the Coptic, Maryam Qibtiyya, who was of Egypt as found in the Dictionary of Islam by Thomas Patrick Hughes on page 328, column 1. So they all depend on Egypt, not only for their language, but also for their spirituality, reasoning, and purpose. The root of their religion is their God, be he called Yahweh, Allah, or Elohim. All have their roots in the ancient Egyptian Hua or Hu-He, meaning creative source. Well, it is time again for a unique language. Remember, according to the Holy Scriptures of the three monotheistic religions, be they true or false, they teach that, and all religious people believe, that the whole earth, Ta, was at one time one single language, and that language was the language of God, who was in heaven speaking amongst his host. That language was none other than Nuwaupic, and they dwelled in peace without confusion or Babel, Genesis 11:9, and with the diversity of tongues which give birth to the languages of your Bible and Quran, which in turn give birth to the rest of the languages on the planet Earth and their many dialects. This give birth to separation, division of cultures, racial superiority and inferiority, and the eventual wars between humans. It is time for we as a people to come together as deities, as a deity family, and a perfect step to succeed is to resurrect, call down from heaven that heavenly language, that ancient Egyptian mystery language, the language of Panitirat, the deities. Some call them Elohim, others call them Alihad, others Anunnaki. But they were in fact the Nitirat. However they choose to call the beings that germinate this planet, they had a tongue and they spoke and taught to their children on this planet and then divided it into many tongues. Well, it is being brought back together into one tongue called Nuwaubic, which has several scripts: hieroglyphics, demotic, and hieretic, not Sanskrit. The hieroglyph script which we of the ancient Egyptian order will use note that invasion by the cursed seed of Canaan under the name Hyksos, the lepers, came in during the dynastic periods and mixed in their corrupt tongues with the ancient mystery language, so much that the hieroglyphs discovered today as the Rosetta Stone is mixed with Greek and Cyrillic. So even they are not the true language of the ancient Egyptians. The Rosetta Stone consists of hieroglyphs, demotic, and Greek script. Napoleon so-called translated the ancient Egyptian language from the Rosetta Stone, but the Egyptian language that is spoken and written today is not the ancient Egyptian language that is spoken and written by the ancient and mystic order under the guidance of Amun-Nubi. Uncle. So, in the rituals of the ancient Egyptian order, the Nuwaubic language portrays the intellectualism, sophistication, and eloquence of the Nuwaubic language. Here is an excerpt from the Guidance of the Masters publication for the ancient Egyptian order. This publication is entitled The Egyptian Healing Ritual Temple. On page 66 and 68. It reads in Nuwaubic, Nuk nalautu nifir istanyatati ib wa mashu yessi liya kalun fatul an nashutik wujuh hasa khatmi Tadut kalun dik panitir Sofa yakfiu istamaashi wa makhlusit kar maudalun yashafuk shilpa bizatu nautat, which in English says, I have stated my intentions, heart, and my willingness to be open, determined, and energetic faith. Now my final request is that the deity will reward my action and sincerity with an equal outpouring of qualities. This is Nuwaubic people from the Elohim Anunnaki Malachi Z. And this is the purest of tones from Anu Alun Alun El to the angel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad, as taught to us as Ansars by the Reformer, Dr. Malachi Z. بأسم الرب الخالق الكريم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. Cuneiform people, the purest of tones, as taught to us by Dr. Malachi Z. Come on, King Kong. Come on. It is a proven historical fact that the beastmen, which are the pale Jews and the Canaanite Caucasian beastmen, have cravings for little girls' vaginas, starting with their own daughters, and cravings to perform coitus with little boys. That is the mentality of those entities or beings out of control visibly, as are such elemental forms which partake of the nature of both the animal and the human beast. We Nubians think from the plane of the human mind. In its 7 subdivision, which comprises those manifestations of life and mentality which are common to mortal in their various grades, degrees, and divisions. The Anunnaki. The Anunnaki race is of the 9th, with stragglers from the 9th, which have set foot on the path, and then there are a few advanced souls of their own race who have outstripped the masses on to the 9th and 8th and 9th division, and some few still being further on. The mortal of the 6th division will be the supermortal. He of the 7th will be the overmortal, the God being. This is taken from the Sacred Wisdom of the Grand Hierophant Tehuti, pages 152 and 151 and 152. This Anunnaki Elohim thinks on the level of the 9th subdivision and beyond of the plane of the human mind. A level of mentality that is way beyond our mortal comprehension. So craving coitus with young and infant girls and boys is too base of a thought pattern, extinct, non-existent, unthinkable to the being who built the cell. Listen up, man. Who built the cell which grew into the amoeba 46 trillion years ago, which then evolved into the human body, over a 19 million year period. Holy Tablet, chapter 1, tablet 8, you will find this. You are not getting away with this disagreeable, illogical nonsense, King Kong. In Holy Tablet, chapter 6, tablet 11, 6, the Anunnaki Elohim Malachi Z emphatically states, and I quote, I built the cell which became the amoeba. Let me repeat it again. I built the cell which became the amoeba. Unquote. Holy Tablets chapter 1, tablet 8, 24 through 28 goes further to explain, and I quote, my child, speaking, my child, for a time it was hard for you to understand the very beginning of your existence. It was difficult for you to accept that you were made to evolve from the intelligent amoeba, which are single-celled organisms with a definite nucleus that move by way of a pseudopod, a false foot. A pseudopod is a temporary projection of the cytoplasm of certain cells, such as phagocytes, or of certain unicellular organisms, especially amoeba, that serves as a locomotion of phagocytis. The word amoeba is from the New Latin genus name from Greek amoibe, to change, and from amoebian, to change. And fungus or fungi, which are single-celled or multicellular organisms that excrete enzymes that actually dissolve their foods and then absorb their food through their thin cellular walls. However, this was your beginning. Speaking, this was your beginning, a beginning unknown to humans. Thus, as you read this tablet, you shall have great understanding of how you became who and what you are today. Unquote. What this is in fact saying, people, that the Elohim Anunnaki Malachi Z York L 330 degrees 720 degrees created us. Yeah, still a majority of Nuwaubians are still believing that one of our creators has a fetish for young girls' pudenda. How stupid can you be? And that he is locked up by the dumb, animalistic beast man for that. After all this, you all are a bunch of sick mama jammers. You know what I really want to say. They won't allow me to say it. Quiet, dignity, and grace are the key words here. You're a bunch of sick mama jammers who in reality needs to be wiped out. And the camels just can't wait for Tammuz to activate his starship, to give him his wings, then you'll get what you paid for. Now people, even though you weren't able to comprehend what was just read to you in the Cuneiform language, still, all in all, you can hear and feel the soothing tones. When the Quran was revealed to Muhammad, the code of the number 19 was placed over it so that no man could tamper with it. I'm not talking about the Mohammedans Muhammad, who is a fraud named Musaylima ibn Habib al-Hanifi, which means the submitter, son of the beloved, the upright. It was revealed with vowels because it was in ancient Syriac Arabic, which was the original language. The Quran was in a perfect state before it was sent down. When Gabriel told Muhammad to read, he was telling him to read from the great book Ummul Kitab, the mother of scriptures, Holy Quran 43, 3 and 4. But Muhammad replied, Ma ana biqariyan, I am not a reader. In other words, I cannot read this advanced language. So the angel Gabriel revealed it to him in his tongue, the dialect of the Quraysh. This explained the use of the word in Quran 12:2 and 21:10. All was involved in the we. When the Quran was in ancient Syriac, and the angel had the responsibility of transforming it into the Quraysh dialect. So when Muhammad said to the angel Gabriel, Ma ana biqariyan, I am not a reader, he was saying, but not using classical Arabic, Ana lastu min al-qariyan, that he was not of the readers. When he answered in the Quraysh dialect, Ma ana biqariyan, I am not a reader, he was speaking a very bad dialect which is still spoken. So the Elohim Anunnaki, Gabriel Zadok, said to the Prophet Muhammad in the Quraysh dialect, Iqra bi-ismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa al-insana min alaqa. Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram alladhi 'allama bil-qalam 'allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. Which translates, O seal of the prophets of Allah Muhammad, by the supreme sovereignty of your sustainer and creator, Allah, you are being ordered to read by beginning with the name of your illustrious sustainer, Allah, who is the creator of all things. He, Allah, created all things of a self-separating. So read, because your Muhammad sustainer, Allah, is the most generous. He, Allah, uses the quill pen to teach. He, Allah, taught human beings that which they would have never known. Now, we all know, this is the end. We all know the saying, that old saying, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. Well, this is Ugarit, Prakrit language written in a Sanskrit script. You Baphomet broads need to take this deception back to Halal. Tell him we said, nice try though. Thus ends today's video. We hope you have learned something from this video, and we urge you to share this video and to subscribe to the only channel where you will learn ancient Egyptian mysteries. No more lies, no more guesswork. So share, subscribe, click on the like button below, and see you at the next video.